Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with The Dangers in My Heart episode number 6 reaction. Okay, the previous episode, it was the episode of going to check out different people's workplaces, different places. They would make groups, go there, check everyone out, how they do their job, that type of thing. And Ichikawa gets grouped up with Yamada's group, and then there's that annoying kid, I forgot his name, he's also there. And they go to like a manga publishing place. And yeah, they're over there, obviously they like watch like what's going on. Ichikawa tries to keep himself kind of aloof about it, but obviously he's very excited. And in the end, we get to see him enjoying that whole thing. And it was like a good, it was like a good thing going on. Ichikawa and Yamada, both of them were also interacting and stuff. And then what happened in the end is that they missed the train because Ichikawa went to the toilet, Yamada was waiting for him, and they go and realize that their friends have didn't realize that they're not with them. So they already boarded the train and the train has left. So now they're stuck over here. So let's see what happens from there. I'm guessing it is going to resume. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens, how they go back, and whatever happens from here onwards. So episode number 6, let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference. And let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. Well, you've missed the train. Okay, hopefully they're able to board the next train, or who knows. Yep. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, she is just like I've said this before as well. She she's very strict on herself. Like even before. Oh my god, she's crying. No, that's not why. She's crying because she thinks that she messed up. Oh boy. What is that milk tea? Well, yeah, and like if Yamada wasn't waiting for him, he would have been left alone. So yeah, wow. Oh my god. Oh, there you go. The train has already arrived. Like, like we've seen this before as well. Even in the previous episodes, there's one thing that we can say that Yamada's too strict and hard on herself. Even in the episode where she got injured, she was like, "Oh, like what will my mom think? What will my manager think?" And she was like crying and everything. Then, like, there's another instance, I can't remember what it was, but where she again like was taking it so hard on herself. Like, Yeah, that's basically her. Like any type of situation which kind of goes south, she blames herself about it if she's involved in it. Which we can kind of say that, which kind of shows that she has very low self esteem. Like, which is kind of surprising because how outgoing she is. It's like people who what type of people have low self-esteem? People who usually like keep quiet and everything. Not necessarily all the time, but usually it is like that. But she's so outgoing. Still, she has this thing. Okay. This is ultra realistic. I don't think so. Maybe who knows? Maybe at one or two maximum. Yeah, and it's getting packed up. Oh, Nagasaki Hut. Is it like Pizza Hut or something? Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, damn, the sound of the train. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because yeah, they're the one who forgot them. Okay. Damn, he's balancing the. Yeah. How is he balancing that egg? Well, yeah, usually he's not that vocal about. Yeah, you do have one. Come on, don't. That's not why they were telling that. Mm. He's remembering the previous day where she. Wait, why is she waiting for? Wait a minute, is she really waiting for him? Oh damn, she was actually waiting for him. Oh wait, so she. Okay. Oh, that's why she was waiting. I was like, why is she waiting? Like, well, yeah, obviously. Okay. What? Okay, you spoiled everything. Yeah. Wait, isn't this a show? Who dies? What the hell? Oh no. Yeah. Oh my god, you idiot! She was waiting for you. What the hell? Oh my god. Wow. Good god. Hmm. Wait, wasn't she supposed to? Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, it's backfiring. Yes. Why you're not reading my manga? She came here to. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Say goodbye. What? Um. Yeah. Nothing. Okay. Yeah. Wow. He's actually thinking how she reads. Oh my. That's so embarrassing. Oh god. Oh wow. Cheers. Oh, snack crumbs. Yeah, and got a big surprise while reading it, you know? What the hell is this kid doing here? Dude, piss off. Go back to class. Oh god, here we go again. I feel like punching this kid. Yeah, what's it? What? Oh my god. Just. Okay, is he going? He does know. Ichikawa does know that. Yeah. Yeah, no need to tell him. Yeah, no need to tell him. Hmm. This is probably the first proper thing he said throughout this whole 6 episodes. All right. Yeah. Oh, dude, stop! Don't listen to this guy. Oh my god. Here we go. I know what he's going to say. Yeah. Okay, I thought he was going to say something. Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. You know what's the problem with him? He's too vocal about everything. That's the problem about this guy. Like I'll discuss about this in the discussion section. Hmm. Because you know more about her, that's why. You've actually become good friends, that's why. I really like I really like this way, this type of character development where like he's actually realizing he's actually realizing the change. Yeah, just mm, what's what's happening? Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Just tear it off. Yeah. Yeah, just tear it off and feign ignorance. Probably because of you. Yeah, nobody eats here. Oh my god. Well, and you. Yeah. Wait, didn't they? Okay. Oh my god. Yeah. She'll get. Wait, throw drop. Oh, only that. Okay. There you go. Huh. Wait, was it? Well, I doubt that. She's. Wait, why is it two books? Murder is. There you go. Like I said, she doesn't care. But oh wait, someone's here. Oh no. Oh, it's actually the teacher. What is this epicness? Oh, Oh, oh. Wait, what about the? There you go. He admitted it. Melted. Wait, didn't she see the big packet that she's taking the? Oh, she took it in. Okay. The well. Yeah. She'll just lick it, I'm sure. She's definitely going to lick it in. Yeah, this is Yamada we're talking about. There you go. Oh my god. Oh no. She's still eating. No, nothing has ended. Just just go back home and come back tomorrow. Everything will be fine. There you go. Well, oh boy. Wow. Yeah, okay. I melted it. Okay, that was cute. Mm, okay, is that it? Wait, but there's still something left. Oh, oh yeah, that's true. Wait, what? Oh my god. He actually. Okay. Alright. So, okay, this episode begins with obviously them getting stranded in the in the train station, and they like quickly go and they see the train leaving, and obviously I just love how the two different way they kind of react. Like Ichikawa no, Yamada starts crying while Ichikawa's just happy. Just the first thing that we see is Ichikawa's like, yeah, we're not in a rush or anything. It's fine, like just suppressing a smile, and he's like, oh, I'm not happy. While obviously Yamada's taking this very hard. She's like crying. She's like, oh, it's my fault. I'm sorry. I should have told them. You know. Now again, as you can see, she is pretty strict on herself. We've seen this before as well. I do wonder why she's so strict on herself, because it doesn't seem like usually why this happens. Like why, like, certain children, they usually, who are very hard on themselves or strict on themselves, most of the times the situation is like, the parents or their family, them, they are usually strict on them. That's why they kind of become more strict on themselves. Like sometimes it might go the opposite way as well. If your parents are strict, you might try to actually, like, I don't know, like, go against it and try to, like, like, make mischief and be more free. But sometimes the opposite happens as well, like, you yourself become more strict on yourself and try to, like, like, become more hard on yourself. However, from the previous episode where we saw Yamada was like, oh, my nose got injured, I cannot go to the photo shoot, my mom will be disappointed, my manager will be disappointed. When she was talking to her mother, it seemed like her mother was like, oh, it's fine, you're a kid, you're supposed to get hurt, no problem, don't worry about it. It seemed like it was something like that she said. So it's not that I don't think her parents are that strict. So I do wonder, why is she so hard on herself? There must be some kind of a reason why she's like this. Like, we've seen this before as well. She's too strict and she's too hard on herself. Just, like, small little things. She always thinks that, oh, like, if something goes wrong, she always blames herself first. Because here, if you think about it, in no way was this Yamada's fault. You know, you can kind of say that, oh, if you have to, like, blame someone, you can kind of say something like, oh, maybe it was her friend's fault for not really, like, like, seeing if they're with them. Or you could say this is, like, maybe this was Ichikawa's fault because he really didn't say anything before going to the toilet. In no way was this Yamada's fault, because, like, like, Yamada just stayed there when Ichikawa went to the toilet, like, and then when he came back, she just kept him company. That's all she did. If someone had to say something, it would have been Ichikawa. He could have, like, he could have been like, oh, I need to go to the, like, washroom a little bit, so you guys wait a little. But obviously this Ichikawa we're talking about, he's not used to any of these things. He never really interacts with anyone, so you cannot really expect that from him. But he was the one who should have said that. Or her friends should have been the one who should kept an eye that, oh, let's see if everyone's here or not. So if you have to blame someone, if you have to really say, like, oh, this person is at fault, like, they're, like, proper, like, candidates, not Yamada. In no way or in no position was Yamada at fault in this situation. But still, she was blaming herself. The first thing that she does is blames herself. And yeah, so she starts crying. She's like, I should have said this. And obviously Ichikawa was like, oh no, like, it looks like I made her cry. And at first he thought that, oh, maybe she's crying because she's stuck here with me. But little by little he understands what's going on. And to cheer her up, he goes to the vending machine and gets, like, milk tea for her. And you can see that she's, like, embarrassed. Because obviously, like, she realized that he brought her the milk tea because she was crying and he wants to cheer her up, which made her embarrassed. And okay, so here Ichikawa sits down, and Ichikawa's like, from the next day onwards, I'm going to proclaim that I need to go to the toilet. You guys wait, like this. And like, listening to that, Yamada starts laughing. Yamada's like, oh, you're going to say that? I just love how Ichikawa's, like, 4 seats in the middle, like, empty completely. He's just sitting there at such a distance. But the train comes in, so obviously, like, they leave on the train. And you can see that Ichikawa's, like, thinking, like, oh, does the people here know Yamada? Because, like, she's a model. She might be famous. I doubt anyone knew Yamada over here because a very small amount of people actually like reads fashion magazines, and even if they read fashion magazines, like very small amount of people might actually know or pay attention to the models inside. Like unless and until that model is very famous or something, like, I doubt anyone pays attention to the models that much. At least I don't. Like whenever I'm reading a magazine, I don't remember the people who are modeling in there. So I doubt she's that famous. Unless and until like it's someone that she knows, no one will recognize her. But anyways, Ichika was still kind of like concerned, and you can see that the whole place is getting packed up. And Ichika was like tries to go away, but Yamada grabs him, and Yamada's like, "Stop! We might get split up again." And she kind of brings up Hara and that kid, I forgot his name, and she's like, oh, like they went together to what place? Just a minute. What hut? Just a minute. They said something. Okay. What's that place? Nagasaki hut. Wait, is that like an actual place? I'm really curious. You know what? Let me check. Like, obviously, I'm pretty sure this is like something like Pizza Hut or something. But Nagasaki Hut. Like, is this actually like a place? Nagasaki Hut. Okay, no, never mind. There's nothing called Nagasaki Hut. I cannot find. Okay. So yeah. She's like, oh, did they went to their group went to Nagasaki Hut, and she starts talking about Hara and him, and she's like, oh, like they might become a couple. What do you think? If like, isn't it exciting? Like same class, like couple. And she's like, what do you think? Like, should they keep it a secret or should they announce it? And she says like, oh, I think like it should be like it kept a secret. That should be quite exciting, shouldn't it? And Ichika was like, just says yes at everything. Obviously, he's embarrassed listening to all of that because he likes Yamada himself. Now, next we get to see they coming, like they come back and her friends are there. And it's Yamada's like eating, like, what is that? Like fried chicken or something? Something like that, I'm guessing. I'm guessing Ichikawa, bought that for her. So the first thing that Yamada does is like, oh, I'm sorry, like, apologizes as usual. But like her friend is like, oh no, it's my fault. Like I should have kept an eye on everyone because I was supposed to be the captain. And then she's like, all right, fine, like mistakes have been made. So, all right, next scene, we are back at the Ichikawa's house, and his mom and sister are there, and you can see he's so much like excited. He's like constantly talking about the school trip and everything, and he's like, oh, they were like like all of them were stupid. They don't know anything. As usual. What's that part? They were asking rude questions, running off, getting split up. Airheads, the whole of them. And his sister is like, yeah, you're kind of talkative today, aren't you? You must have been quite very excited going to the school trip, haven't you? You're enjoying your time at school, aren't you? Because yeah, otherwise why is he so vocal? He usually isn't that vocal about anything. The way he's so vocal about it kind of shows how excited he is. Like when you're very excited about something and you can't stop talking about it, even if it's something negative, you just keep talking about it. That type of thing. So, and he's like, oh no, definitely not. I'm not. Just leaves. And yeah, and he's like thinking like, I think his sister said like, oh, have you made friends? And he's thinking like, oh yeah, I do have friends now. And then he's thinking about Yamada, and he's also thinking like, oh, maybe they're making fun of me, because in the previous day they kind of like were laughing about when she talked about shoujo manga, and yeah, so he's like, oh, they must be making fun about me. But then he comes to school and sees that Yamada's waiting. Now here, obviously, I was also confused. I was like, why is she waiting for him? Like, yeah, like obviously they're good friends, and like like Ichikawa likes him and everything, her and everything. But like waiting in front of the school, that's kind of odd, isn't it? Like there must be some reason, and obviously we get to know the reason later on. Is that yeah, they were is that she was waiting to give the manga to him, because she did say that, oh, I'm going to bring Kimio Octave, I think that was the name of the manga, and give it to you. But yeah, this part you can see Ichikawa comes in, and Ichikawa's like, oh, why is she waiting here? And she's like, oh, good morning, and he's like, yeah, good morning, and he goes in, and then Yamada stops him, and she's like, here you go, and gives him the manga. Now, obviously, at this point, I was like, okay, so you can understand from this that, yeah, she was waiting for Ichikawa to give him the manga. It's pretty obvious, isn't it, after this whole interaction? This kid, Ichikawa, still didn't understand by the end that she was actually waiting for him. Like, that's quite dense, isn't it? Like, I can understand, like, nobody, like, this is probably the first time anyone, like, waited for him. So he's, like, this whole concept of someone waiting from him in front of the school is so foreign to him that even in the end he didn't realize. But still, she gave you the manga. Obviously, it means that she was waiting there to give you the manga. He still didn't understand that she was actually waiting for him. So she gives him the manga, and she's like, oh, like, here you go, and today I won't be able to go to the library, but that's why I wanted to give it to you in the morning, so here you are. And she's like, oh, it's very good, and she starts spoiling everything. She's like, the man character is so great, their friend dies at one point, and the whole what what what, like, this is a shoujo manga, isn't it? Friend dies at one point? I guess, like, maybe like it's natural death or something. I don't know. Like, it's quite a hardcore shoujo manga, isn't it? Like, yeah, I guess there are a few shoujo mangas like this where characters die, this and that, because, yeah, like, this is the thing, like, anime in itself, like, like, is such a medium where death is kind of usually, like, not that common. And which is something I'm very glad about, actually. Like, I've seen a lot of people kind of complain about this, about, oh, how characters never die in shonen animes, or like, not only shonen but any type of anime. Like, like I said, death is like a thing which is very uncommon in anime. Usually most of the shows doesn't really kill off their characters, but this is something that I'm so actually thankful about. I hate deaths in anime. Like, it's just such a, like, thing that I just absolutely hate so much. Like, I don't care, like, even if it's for character development, I don't like characters dying. Like, I don't care if even if the whole, like, like, manga doesn't get any character development, I'll be fine with that if no character dies. A manga with, like, deaths, like 3 to 5 deaths, with great character development, versus a manga with no deaths but not much character development, I will choose that. I'll choose the latter. Like, I'm that type of a person. So yeah, like, this is one thing I'm very actually thankful about for anime. Like, usually most of the time characters don't die, but yeah, like I said, there are exceptions, obviously. Like, and so yeah, like, this exception, I'm pretty sure here, she just, like, with a big smile in her face, she's like, their friend dies at one point. And I'm like, okay. All right, a lot happens, but the cool looking guy on the back cover turns out to be really sweet. She spoils everything over here, and Ichiko's like, wait, what, why are you spoiling everything? Don't say anything. And she's like, oh, it's up until volume 10. He's like, still, don't say anything. She puts it in. And then, like, she's coming with them, and she's like, Ichika's like, wait, why are you coming with me? Aren't you busy? Weren't you waiting for someone? And obviously you can see here, like, this dense kid, he didn't realize that she was waiting for him to give the manga. And he's like, ah, yeah, like, aren't you waiting for someone? And obviously, here, Yamada, we've seen this before as well. Yamada doesn't really, like, in these type of situations, especially, she kind of gets embarrassed and she usually goes with the flow. So she's like, yeah, I was actually waiting for someone. Okay. She just goes there. And I'm guessing after Ichikawa goes to the class, she probably comes back. But she was definitely waiting only for Ichikawa over here. Anyways, and the next time, like next in the library, you can see him reading like a book. Yamada comes in, and I'm like, wait, you weren't supposed to be here. Ichikawa's like, why are you here? Weren't you supposed to go to some place? And she's like, oh, I just came to just see. And I immediately realized and immediately knew that she has come here to see if he's actually reading the manga. And she's like, wait, what's that book? You're not reading Kimi Octave. Like, why are you not reading it? Like, and just starts like pulling the book, and he's like, no, I want to read manga at my house. And but she's like, no, you have to read it now. Like, this is such a, I guess you could say, relatable thing, because I feel like everyone goes through this. Like, like if you recommend someone something, like, like be it an anime, be it manga, like video game, movie, whatever it is, you're just so excited to listen to what they thought about after, like watching it or reading it, especially if the thing that you recommended was like one of your favorites. Like, at least, like I think of it like that. I remember there being a friend, one of my friends, who used to watch anime, and like this is the thing, like people watching anime, at least in my like country, is very rare. So somehow I was able to find this one friend who actually watched anime, and he was new to it. So obviously I was pretty like excited and gassed up, and being the person who has watched more anime, I was like, oh, I'm going to recommend you some stuff, and I recommended that person some stuff. And I remember always asking them that, oh, like, did you watch it, and like, what did you think about it? And obviously, like, the other person like gave me the impressions and everything. But there was at one point I remember, like, he started not watching the animes at all. Like, he used to ask me for recommendation, but then little by little, that's all he did. He just got recommendations and never really watched it. And I got so frustrated about that. Like whenever he used to ask me for recommendation, I would be so excited. I would be like, oh yeah, like, watch this. This is really cool. And then when I would ask him, like a week or so later, that, have you started watching it? He'd be like, no, I still haven't gotten enough time. And I'm like, dude, why the hell did you ask me? Such a relatable thing. Like, I can understand this, like Yamada's excitement here. Oh boy. But anyways, okay, so after that you can see she kind of like loses her balance and just falls on top of him almost. Both of them gets embarrassed, and like, she's like, oh, okay, so I'll go. Like, she tries to leave, and Ichikawa's like, oh, like wait. And she's like, what? Obviously he just instinctively just stopped her. He doesn't know what to say now. Like, obviously he could have been like, oh, goodbye, like, take care or something like that. He could have been, but he decided to say something like, you'll be coming to school tomorrow, wouldn't you? Now, this is the thing, like I said, in Japan, I'm pretty sure the whole attendance in school is very strict. I think, like, it's like you usually are not allowed to skip school unless and until you're really sick and everything. So, like, coming to school in Japan, as far as I've like seen in anime, is like compulsory. Everyone comes to school each and every day. Unlike like other places, like my country, for example. Yeah, I used to like skip school a lot. Even if I was not sick, sometimes I was like, I won't go. Can't be bothered. That type of thing. That's not in Japan. Like, you cannot do that in Japan, as far as I know. So, like, asking a question like this, like, oh, will you come today, in itself is very unusual, because, yeah, obviously you're going to come, like, you're supposed to come, So, he asks that question and he gets embarrassed, because he's like, yeah, what the hell am I even asking? Well, obviously, she's going to come. But she's like, yeah, I'm going to come. And what else does she do? She says that I'm going to come to the library as well. Oh boy. But obviously, and he's like, ah, yeah, yeah, sure. Nothing in the world is absolute. So, makes excuses for his question. And then in the end, he's like, I guess maybe I do enjoy school. Okay, at his home, he goes and he's like reading the manga, and he's like, I wonder how Yamada reads it. Laying down, upside down, straight, like like sleep, like in laying position or something. And when he lays down and opens the book, snack crumbs fall on top of him. And oh my god, this is imagine. Oh boy, that would be so embarrassing. But anyways, he's like, ah, I understand how she reads it. While eating snacks, she probably reads it like this. Okay, so next day she goes to school. He goes to school, and Yamada comes in, and the first thing that she says is like, "Have you read it?" Like I said, I can understand her excitement. Okay, and he's like, "Oh no, not yet. I'm going to read it." And he's like talking about this, and then in comes this dude. Oh, I don't remember his name. I forgot his name. So yeah, he comes in, and when Ichika was reading the manga, he's like, "Oh, like what is your relationship with Yamada?" And like puts his hand over him and everything. And oh my god, I said, like whenever I see this guy, I get pissed off. And I'm like, oh, stop that, like just stop. And then in the end, he's like, oh, do you like Yamada? Like like, oh no, Ichika's like, do you like Yamada? And he's like, yeah. Like this. Okay, so after that, you can see that he's like, Ichika was like, oh, like you like him, isn't that like like, aren't you like asking for the impossible? So this part, where's that part? Here we go. When Ichikawa asks that, like, oh, like, aren't you like, like this is Ichikawa we're talking about, like, you actually like her, like, isn't that like crazy? Like, in no way will be, like you be successful, like that type of thing. He kind of kind of said in that manner, which is something that he himself also thinks. He like Yamada, for him at least, is someone who's like at a very high position, and with his own like inferiority complex and everything, he always asks himself this question that, oh, Yamada this is talking about, in no way is this possible. So he asks the same question to him, and this is probably the first and the only time, like this is the 6th episode, does this guy actually says something sensible. He's like, oh, can't help who we like, right? The only thing and the only point in time after 6 episodes, after 6 episodes of like just speaking nonsense, this kid finally says something like actually okay and like actually sensible. He's like, yeah, can't like help who we could like, right? And obviously this kind of like kind of makes Ichikawa think, and then again he reverts back to his usual self. Like at first he was like kind of saying about this whole thing, like he's kind of like making it seem as if like, oh, like, yeah, I really like her. And then little by little it devolves into something, as usual, perverted. So here's the thing. One thing I kind of understood here, that this part where he starts talking about how she's like starts talking about more pervy stuff. Where's that part? Yeah, Ichikawa just gets up and leaves. Ichikawa's like, oh, like, I've also looked at her like this before as well. Now this is the part where I think I kind of realize why he rubs me the wrong way so much. This kid, that kid, the pervy one. Like, the problem with him is that he's too vocal about everything. Like, this is the thing. I feel like everyone, like in these type of situations, like what like Ichikawa says, I also looked at Yamada like that before. Right? Everyone thinks of stuff like that, but they only think about it. They never bring it out in their mouth. They never really like, and they're never really that vocal about it. So that's the thing, and that's like the common sense. Like that's like the normal way. Like obviously, like if you're thinking about it, nobody will know, and that's it. Like everyone thinks about these type of things, but they never really bring it out or really be vocal about it or proclaim it to the world. That is weird, if you really proclaim about it. And that is what rubs, like him, the like at least that kind of makes him a little bit different. He's actually vocal about everything. Like I doubt there's anything in his head. Whatever he thinks, he just blurts out. And that is what's so weird about this kid. He's too vocal about everything, and that makes it more problematic. And also, there's this one thing is like he doesn't know the correct place and time to say stuff. For example, in one of the previous episode, one thing that again rubbed me the wrong way is when he was kind of making these type of weird comments when Yamada was hurt. Like I said in that episode as well that he doesn't know how to where the line is. He doesn't know where the line is. He always kind of goes past that, which is another thing that makes it very weird and unusual and kind of like very bad. Like so these are the reasons why I don't really like him that much. But yeah, now that I think about it, like that's just him, I guess. Like whatever he thinks, he just blurts out, and he doesn't know where to put the line. But yeah, anyways, so another interesting thing that kind of happens here is why Ichikawa thinks here that, oh, I wonder why I'm feeling bad. I've eyed her up plenty myself, talking about Yamada. Why does it bother me now? This part. This is such an interesting statement. I feel like there's like a very valid and a very good reason for this, why he thinks about it like this. Like it is true. He was like that, wasn't he? He did, as he said he did eye her up before. He also thought of stuff like this before. But why does he gets bothered by it now when someone talks about stuff like that about Yamada? Because he knows Yamada properly. He has gotten to know her properly. Just think about something. If there's like someone who you don't really know about, and you have these type of things in your head where you kind of like look at them in this way, you're not really that good friends with them, you're basically strangers. You can have these thoughts in your head, but then just imagine you become good friends with that person, very good friends with that person, and you stop having those type of thoughts. That's number one. Number two, if someone else says something like that to you about that person, if you weren't like really friends with them, if you were like a stranger, you probably wouldn't think much about it and probably would have like laughed at it or something like that, because you also think about stuff like that. But now that you're good friends, if someone like says those type of things to you about that person, just making jokes and fun like friends, like this kid, you're gonna get bothered by it. You'll not like it. You might get mad at that person as well. That is the thing. You know this person now. You're not strangers anymore. You know Yamada now. And you have a better understanding about what that person is, how they are, stuff like this. The fact that you're more than you're actually friends and more than acquaintances, kind of shows that you know who this person is. So any other person who brings talks about these type of things, to you about that person, obviously is going to rub you the wrong way. So this kind of shows how his character and his his friendship with Yamada is actually developing from a in a very nice way. It kind of shows that. And I really love how this show kind of brings that out, just in a very subtle way. Kind of shows their increasing friendship, like very subtle way, nothing much. Like I said in the previous episode, when Ichikawa went to the toilet, Yamada just stayed there without even saying anything, and when he comes out, she decides to go with him. These type of very subtle things, nothing that is like they're not really vocal about anything. They're not really like hugging or handshaking or anything. But these type of things, like subtle things, like which kind of shows how their relationship is increasing, and like like they're becoming closer friends. I really like that. It's very interesting and very nice. Okay, so you can see that Ichika was like like just comes back to the classroom, and Yamato's just sitting on his chair, on his table, and like making weird noises with her. And Ichikawa just sits down, and yeah. Okay, so Ichika was like now thinking that, oh, since that guy said, I guess I'm looking at her that sort of way. That's why maybe I'm not in love with her. There you go. Maybe I don't actually like her. He's thinking about all of this because, like stuff he's said. And when he comes to the library, since Ichika was looking at something, what is she looking at? A poster. No eating in library. Library stuff has written and posted it. So obviously, like the question comes in, why something so obvious posted now? Did someone say about this? Did someone snitch? What's going on? I love how Yamada's like, oh, nobody eats here. Like, what are they talking about? Ichika's like, yeah, is that a Yamada joke? Okay, so okay, now she's like, who, like, how did they know? And Ichika's like, maybe someone ratted you. And she's like, okay, like, so Ichika's like, who, like, who knows about you eating here? And she's like thinking about everyone who knows, and then she's like, no, I'm not going to go in that direction. I don't want to suspect anyone. And then she's like, okay, like, let's go to the library and ask the teacher. Okay, so here, okay, where's that part? Okay, Yamada says like, I also never threw anything over there, so it's weird that they like like they're suspecting us. And she's like, maybe someone's behind this, and like they go to the teacher's room, ask the library teacher, and she's like, oh, nothing, like that much. We only found one, like wrapper, like throat drop, but like seeing that, we decided to just put a poster in just in case anyone like eats something. Sometimes people don't realize the obvious until we write it out for them, so that's why it's just like a precaution, nothing much. And okay, so they come to the library back again, and each guy's like, oh, does this mean that she's not going to come back here again because she has, like she cannot eat? And he's like, thinking of all of this, like, oh, what's going to happen, this and that. Obviously, because he wants to interact with her more. I mean, if she stops coming here, then that's it. And while he's just thinking of all of this, she just takes out like choco, like like things, like those chocolate things. Almond chocolate. There you go. Brings that out and starts eating. And Ichika's like, oh my god, what the hell? And he's like, what are you doing? Aren't we supposed to not eat here? And she's like, there is a rule, but rules are meant to be broken, like that type of vibe. She just went with that. She's like, I knew all along we couldn't eat here, so one sign doesn't change anything. And she's like, I know I'm taking a risk, so yeah. Oh boy, I knew the risks from the start. Yeah, obviously, like it's obvious you shouldn't bring any food material in school, except obviously your lunch. Any type of snacks and stuff. You're not supposed to bring them in school. This is very obvious. You don't need to write it down or something. So anyone who does that knows that they're doing something that they shouldn't do. So there you go. It shouldn't matter. She has been eating up until now. She was going to do that from here onwards as well. So who cares? And then Ichika's like, oh no, like if someone sees you like this, and then he sees that the teacher is actually here in the library. So she comes in from the side. Yamada's going to put the thing in her mouth. Ichikawa sees this. Obviously, Ichikawa has to do something to kind of, like make her stop. Like, obviously, he could warn her, but if he warns her, then the teacher would, like, listen to it. She'll realize. So, what can you do in this type of situation? Like, I found it so funny that the almond box that she was taking the chocolate out of, I was like, wait, isn't that on the table? Even if he grabs her hand, what about the box on the table? But then we see that it's not there. I don't know what happened over there. But anyways, that doesn't matter. She grabs her hand like this. And while grabbing her hand, he actually says that I understand that I like her this much. So he actually like accepts the fact that he likes her over here in this episode finally. And grabs her hand, and she's like surprised. She's like, what the hell is going on? And the teacher comes in, and the teacher looks at them like holding hands. The teacher's like embarrassed, just leaves. And you can see that Yamada's like looking at him like this, like, what the hell, And then he's like, oh no, the teacher, like that's why, I didn't. And I just, this part is so funny because I feel like the reason why Yamada was like glaring at him was probably because her chocolate got squashed. I'm definitely like 100% sure that was the reason why she was looking at him like that. She's like, what the hell, like my chocolate, it just got squashed. While Ichikawa's thinking like, oh, maybe it was too weird for her that I grabbed her hand. I doubt she's thinking of any of that. She's probably angry that her chocolate got squashed. And and she's like, go over there. Like, don't come here. Like, don't look in this side. And it's because like you should wash your hand. And she's like, go away, go over there. And as he leaves, she starts licking it. I knew she was going to do that, obviously. Who washes that? It was like the chocolate just squashed in her hand. Just lick it up. Yeah, like. Oh, this is so funny. And then in the end, Ichikawa is like, like maybe you should, like lay off the snacks. Now, obviously, him saying this, he knows that, at least he thinks that Yamada comes here just because of the snacks. So him telling this kind of shows that he knows that from here onwards she might not come back. If she actually lays off the snacks, she might not come back here again. So knowingly he says that because obviously he doesn't want Yamada to get into trouble, So he's like, yeah, this is how it should be. But obviously, like I'm pretty sure everyone knows that Yamada's not going to listen. The next day, Yamada comes back and Yamada's like, oh, I'm here just to study, like homework. And then underneath her homework, there's like a box of chocolate. And it goes like, what the hell? And she's like, yeah, I'm laying off of snacks, third of them. 2/3 I'm eating. And it goes like, oh my god, this girl. And that's where it ended. So yeah, that was another very wholesome and cute episode. As you can see, the character development is really nice here. Like, everyone who decided to stick around, I'm pretty sure you can see that what I was trying to mean. That, the first 3 episodes might be a little bit weird. The kid might be a bit too edgy for, like a few people's tastes. But just bear with it, everything will become fine. So yeah, as you can see, it is becoming fine little by little. Things are changing, and you can see how wholesome and what in a wholesome way the character development is like progressing. And it's very nice to see characters like them actually like like kind of interacting and like figuring it out little by little. And now Ichikawa has already figured it out, so that in itself kind of shows that this is a huge progress. So yeah, there you go. That was this episode. So this was episode number 6 of The Dangers in My Heart. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of The Dangers in My Heart. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.